Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Kaveri Nukala. Today I'm going to discuss an important topic in forensic medicine, that is dying declaration and the procedure of recording it and the difference between dying declaration and dying deposition. Now let's start. Firstly, we'll go with the definition. I hope it's clear, it's visible. Yeah. Okay. It is a statement made by a person who is dying as a result of unlawful act. The statement could be oral or written. Like we can record while the person is saying, or we can write it, or we can ask the person to write. The statement should be related to the circumstances which led to this condition. Oath is not administered as it is believed that dying person speaks only truth. It is produced in the court as evidence. It is valid in case the declarant does not die, but now it will be only a corroborative evidence. For example, if the person dies, then the evidence will have more value, and if at all the person does not die, then it is used as a corroborative evidence. That means it supports the existing evidence, but it's not a confirmatory evidence. It strengthens or confirms the already existing evidence, right? Next, any evidence should be authenticated by oral evidence in the court, but a dying declaration is an exception. Means, for example, in other cases, if at all you're providing any uh, documentary evidence, then you have to provide some oral evidence so that it will be supportive to it. But in case of dying declaration, nothing is needed. Only that uh, evidence is enough. No need of any further oral evidences for supporting it. Right. Next procedure. First, the doctor certifies the compos mentis, normal mental status of the dying person, but this is not mandatory. Firstly, while we have to know whether the person is mentally like stable or not, whether the person is having any mental disorders like hallucinations, schizophrenia, etc. So the doctor certifies that the person who is giving this declaration is having a normal mental status, and dying person narrates the circumstances or causes leading to his or her death. Next, the police or the magistrate or the village head or doctor, along with the two witnesses, records the statement and signs the document. So they'll collect it and they'll sign it. Next, the principles. What are the principles that have to be followed while you're collecting this dying declaration? Firstly, the statement should be recorded and verbatim in the victim's own language. We have to write in whatever language he's saying, or whatever we have to record it. We should not do any changes that we want. Okay, now next, no leading questions are asked. No leading questions are asked. Like we should not ask him any questions. We should not stop his flow. We should not ask him any questions, and no suggestions are given. Like these all may mislead him, so no suggestions and no leading questions, and no influence should be imposed. Like we should not force him, we should not threaten him. So no influence should be imposed him. So if the victim is unable to speak but makes only gestures, no interpretation of the gesture is allowed. Like the person is not able to speak because of the injury, so the person is dumb, then he's trying to say something, we should not interrupt him. The victim becomes unconscious or dies while recording the statement, only that much information is recorded, right? And we have to provide it in the court. Once recording of statement is complete, it should be signed by the writer and the two witnesses. Okay, the investigating police officer should not be present at the time of recording the statement, because this may produce some influence on the what the person who is giving the declaration. So investigation officer should not be present, because should not give any clue to the officer, and uh, we should see to it that no influence or any should not be any any force or any kind of act should not be there on the person. So no investigation police officer will be present there. And now we are speaking of dying deposition. It is not practiced in India, but dying declaration is practiced in India, and dying deposition is practiced in USA. It is a statement of dying person related to his or her death due to unlawful act. It is recorded under oath. Okay. Uh, it is recorded by a magistrate in the presence of accused or his or her lawyer, who is allowed to cross examine the victim. Okay, difference between dying declaration is very important. You may get it as a 5 marks question actually. So dying declaration and dying deposition. Dying declaration is in dying declaration, oath is not administered. In this, oath is administered, because in dying declaration we believe that the person who is dying will speak the truth, so we don't take any oath. The doctor, police, and village head are recorded. Only magistrate records the dying declaration, right? And accused or his or her lawyer is not allowed, because this may cause influence on him. And so you don't allow the accused or the person who is against this person who is giving dying declaration. So accused or his or her lawyer is not present. The accused or his or her lawyer is present in case of dying deposition. Cross examination is not allowed. Here cross examination is allowed because if at all the person is pointing out someone, he's saying that you are accused, he's accusing you, then you have the right to examine whether you have the right to prove that you're not the one, you didn't do any mistakes. So in dying deposition you have that right to cross examine to prove that you're not guilty. But in dying declaration you don't have that right, you don't have that freedom to prove that that you're not accused, like you're not you don't get the chance to prove that you're right. So whatever he says is right. Leading questions are not asked, like we should not ask any questions to him, but we can ask any leading questions are asked in dying deposition, and it is practiced in India and it is not practiced in India. So thank you for listening. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much.